Welcome to Screencast. Kind of funny. Did I actually scare you?
No,
Sorry.
you didn't scare me. What happened was I put my coffee here, forgot it was there, hand made contact, freaked out like an animal was attacking me. Thought there was an animal, because sometimes we have animals in here.
Sure.
Nobody tells me these things happen. They scare me.
I'm going to go back to the intro now. Okay?
Then I grab them.
Okay.
And then I cuddle
I'm
them.
going to go back to the intro.
Then I try to teach them how to open doors.
Our only entertainment-based podcast where we discuss movies, TV shows, streaming services, and other great news you want to hear about. This show is streamed weekly, Friday at 11 a.m. when Fran decides to end on time. Today was not one of those days. On twitch.tv/kindafunnygames. If you missed it live, it's okay. It's up on YouTube at youtube.com/kindafunny. There we go. If you want to support us, go to patreon.com/kindafunny. And you can support us at the bronze level tier where you could participate with the show. I am your host, Kevin Coelho, and to my immediate right, Nick Scarpino.
There it is. What's up, everyone? You heard me earlier talking about my drink, and now I've placed it, if you're audio listeners, away from my hands, but just within arm's reach. Look at this right here. God, cannonball.
Real close to your computer, too.
We got to have a standing thing for... We just need, like... Well, I'll know we've made it. Okay, here's what I'm saying. Okay, let me just explain this to you guys. This has nothing to do with anything at all.
Real happy we're going down this route.
When no matter what happens, I open that fridge and there's Diet Coke, iced coffee, and sugar-free Red Bulls. No matter what.
I mean,
no matter what time of the day.
That's like a conversation.
Like when I go to Rooster Teeth, they just everywhere you fucking go, you open up Topo Chicos.
You get what I'm saying? Like, that's a conversation.
Topo Chicos. What I'd like to do.
Too expensive, I heard.
You know how you guys get to have the cool kegs of beer that freeze over sometimes? What I'd like to do.
Just once.
What I'd like to do is get a keg of Diet Coke. Is that a possibility?
No, that would not.
A keg of nitro iced coffee.
Maybe.
I bet we could get that.
Maybe. I bet we could. Actually, I know for a fact we could. We could do that in our kegerator. Anyways, moving on. Nick, you watch anything good this week?
Yeah, last weekend I watched Free Solo, which I really, really recommend. It's the documentary that won the Academy Award at this last award season, and it's about the first person ever to free climb El Capitan, and it is the most anxiety-inducing, stunningly filmed documentary about rock climbing you will ever watch. I highly recommend it.
I'm excited to watch it.
Highly recommend it.
Where is it available?
I got it on demand. I think I rented it.
You rented it?
I'm not sure.
I think I saw that it's coming to Hulu like maybe the 15th. So it might be in next week's out this week.
Fair warning though, don't watch it if you're scared of heights because it'll freak you the fuck out. Oh, it's still playing in theaters actually. That's interesting. A couple theaters around here. It looks like No, I think it's only available to rent right now, from what I'm gleaning here. Anyway, love it. Highly recommend it.
Just wait a week.
I'm thinking about watching that Michael Jackson documentary on HBO. Just got the HBO back to get a running start on Game of Thrones.
Game action.
Are you
also started
watching
watching True Detective season 3, which is really fucking good. Mahershala Ali, and like shout out to Mahershala Ali and the dwarf Stephen Dorff. Like, why is he?
I was very confused on that for a second. The dwarf,
They call him, his full name is Stephen Ganondorf. But they have great chemistry together. It's fucking crazy to see them acting opposite each other and having the dwarf actually being able to hang. My, of course, touchstone for the dwarf, Blade. Only movie I've ever seen him in. Don't remember him in anything else. He also did those weird blue commercials where he's like, quit smoking now. Like I did. I got a vape. Be blue.
All right, moving on to your immediate right.
My
left.
We haven't introduced Tim yet?
Tim.
You can't talk?
Tim Gettys. Hey, man, you watch anything good this week?
I watched the Detective Pikachu trailer 100 times.
Yeah.
That's pretty much
really
it. Now, I watched Fast 8. We talked about that on in review. But yeah, otherwise, the normal stuff. Patriot Act, another great episode.
How many episodes?
Saw Captain Marvel. We'll talk about that later.
Yes.
Yeah.
How many episodes of
Patriot
Act in like the first season?
We're still going in one season.
Oh,
so it's
the break.
Just for
how long was it till they hit the break? Was it like 8 episodes?
We got probably about 8. The season's 30 episodes.
Wow.
Once it's in.
That's
cool. The whole
That's cool.
30 episodes. So
it's a big chunk of time.
It is.
All right, this week I started rewatching Game of Thrones. I am halfway through season 3.
Ooh.
Yeah, started that on Saturday, so it's been.
You're crazy.
It goes so fast though.
Man.
It goes very quick. There's only 10 episodes a season, so and it's the first season. Holy shit, you can tell it's a different fucking budget.
Yeah.
Way like everything seems
Also different
empty.
Time, right?
Sure.
Think about it. That was 10 years ago now, give or take.
Yeah. Well, 8,
Production of it, though. Like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you also have to assume, like, right, HBO was like, we'll make the investment here, we'll see how this hits.
Yeah,
and then once
yeah,
it became the fucking coolest show on television, they're like, let's throw some capital at this. Not only that, but like, this is fucking crazy, right? Because correct me if I'm wrong, but he has not finished the book series yet, right? No. So we are getting the end. This is like the first time that I can remember where we are getting the end of a saga that started as a book, but is not done in the book form yet, which is crazy. To put it in terms that Coolbear can understand, that's like if we were to finish Harry Potter as movies and the 7th book hadn't come out yet. That's unprecedented. I mean, that's
the same terms.
Unprecedented.
Yeah.
Scott Pilgrim did a similar thing where the last volume came out right as the movie was coming out, which was cool.
It was right before.
It was right before. Yeah,
but you're right though. It's like
but it was cool. Yeah. Just some of those like sets, like when they're in Winterfell, they look so empty and like all right, it's cool to see the progression. Also, watch Captain Marvel, and I started watching Leaving Neverland Part 1. I got about like
what is this on?
3/4.
It's on HBO.
It's on HBO.
It's a 4-hour documentary, 2-part, which I don't think it needs to be, but because they did the same thing with Gary Shandling, with the Zen Diaries of Gary Shandling, and I'm like, oh, cool, it's a document, and I'm like, fucking 4 hours of Gary Shandling?
Stop saying Gary Shandling, please.
I don't need it. I'm Gary Shandling. But 4 hours, I'm like, I'm pretty sure they could have cut this down, but yeah, my wife started watching this and had to take a break because it was too much. Yeah. She's watching that, and she also had just finished the R. Kelly documentary on Lifetime.
That's a bad like combo.
And she's like, dude, this it fucked her up. She couldn't sleep for a couple nights.
Leaving Neverland it's super dark. And like really, really messed up and twisted.
The Simpsons pulled the Michael Jackson episode today.
I saw.
Did they really?
Yeah.
I mean, it's
weird.
It's damning. Yeah. I haven't watched it yet, but I've heard. I'm listening to an interview on The Business right now with the guy that made it, and it's dark. It's pretty damning from what I understand.
Yeah.
I will watch it eventually, but I have to be in the right mindset. I think what I'll do is I'll watch part 1. You guys tell me if this is crazy. Watch the first 2 hours, get in the right mindset, go see Captain Marvel, cheer it up a little bit, come back to part 2. What do you think?
Yeah.
Oreo sandwich of depressing, fun, depressing. No?
Yeah.
Or just not watch the documentary at all. Go see Captain Marvel.
Yeah. I say, watch the documentary like after shooting Cooking with Greggy, second day. Jesus and you're just Christ. Like, I don't want to do anything. I just want to lay here and be depressed.
No, I don't want to do that for sure.
Yeah. All right, time for some housekeeping. You can support us on patreon.com/kindafunny. Like Patreon producer Dave Meintel.
Dave, saving those baby horses.
David. Thank you so
much. You know
much.
that Dave Meintel, horse rancher, Montana, also goes down to Argentina sometimes, saves baby horses from other baby horses.
No, he's lying. That is a lie.
You want to see the full story? Watch KFAF this week.
Don't. Also, shout out to all the people that went to SoundCloud and followed. Thank you. We've doubled our number. We are currently 142.
But the real question is, where are the followers of KFAF?
Nobody wants to follow KFAF, so let's move on. This show is brought to you by our sponsors, Quip and Audible, but more about that later. Now it's time for the news. News.
I'm going to say this. Can I say this? I know this is your show. I don't want to take this show over. And I know that we're going to get through it today because we got to cook and go eat our faces off. We are at 67 followers on KFAF. So what I'm going to say is
Did you see how many followers Screencast has?
I don't care.
142.
We are.
It's pretty good.
Well, first off, now we have to beat that. But for right now, or we have to stop at 69 followers. So I need Lexi Gunner and I need CJ Rock 32 to go over to soundcloud.com/kindafunnyaf and follow that just so I can get 69 followers for that funny tweet.
Don't get too excited. No,
just
too many people follow.
Lexi, CJ Rock.
He's giving 2 people jobs.
If Linked Adam or Game Go Twitch, if you fucking follow, I swear to God.
Oh God, he swears.
DJ Kento, don't fuck me on this. Don't fuck me on this.
Kevin, what's the first news story?
Well, Tim disappeared, but it's perfect because I don't think he like cares about these first.
That's fine.
You
and I. You know what, Kevin? Let's call a spade a spade. You and I are the backbone of this fucking company.
100%,
we don't need
dude.
Craig. We don't need Tim. We just need Barrett.
Did you call him Craig?
Greg? No, Greg. Or Tim.
Okay,
He's not here either. Andrew's coming through like the fucking wind. Oh, what's up? He's
cool.
back. Be cool.
Be
cool.
So the first story, Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, season 2 drops April 5th.
Hell yeah.
So the announcement for, I don't know if you watched it.
I didn't. I wanted to. It just was one of those things that passed me by just because it's too long.
It feels a lot like a CW show. and like kind of enjoyed it.
It is a CW. I mean, it is for all intents and purposes a CW show.
Well, on Netflix.
It's
they can
a
have
CW
more
show
blood.
on Netflix.
Yeah.
But it's I like it. I think it's fun, and like, I'm a big fan of like Halloween shows out of the season of Halloween. I like it. Not too many, but it's nice to have that. It's fun. It's not a great show.
No,
it's not Game of Thrones. It's
God,
not.
no, not even close. It's not House of Cards.
No, it's not any of that stuff.
Yeah.
It's silly. It's fun, and I forget the lead actress's name, but she's great. The cast is fucking great. It's just I like it. I like it.
Yeah. They came out with like a Christmas special, which like seems like halfway through they were just like, hey, we need to finish this movie or this episode, and like just cut to an end. So that was weird, but we'll see.
I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
I like it. I mean, that's the fun of Netflix, right? Is that you don't have to have a traditional season. You can get back in and like put out another episode like 6 months later. Who cares? It doesn't matter.
I thought that was really cool. I really liked the idea of them just popping out an episode and being
Well,
like,
it was tricky because I was like,
the story in the episode was weird.
It was
Just that
weird. It was an episode.
Ended
Which
really
was strange.
shortly.
That's an interesting delivery mechanism, though. I like that. I like the experimentation.
Yeah, shout out to Netflix for experimenting. Next news story: Arrow shoots its last supervillain with final abbreviated season. So, Nick, I know you used to be into Arrow.
Yeah.
I know it's been a while.
No, I mean, I'm sorry. I was
used to be
talking
in the
shit
Flash.
to DJ Kent on the channel.
Why?
Okay, what's
Why
good?
are you doing that?
Because I like it. It makes me feel better about myself. Because they're fucking with me, of course.
Okay.
Whenever I say anything, there's Ignacio Rojas and DJ Kent gotta fuck with me.
Well, I mean, you called them out, or you called DJ Kent out specifically when Tim was out of the room.
Does the fire rise or does the fire rise?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, Tim?
No,
You want
not-
the fire to go down and go out when we get cold, or you want the fire to rise and everyone's warm, maybe a little too
Arrow,
hot?
it's
Arrow,
ending finally.
Great.
Yeah.
I haven't
think
watched
finally.
Arrow in probably 4 seasons,
seasons,
and I
yeah.
just don't care.
Yeah.
Like, it was a show that was really cool. That was a time and a place, right? The Arrowverse, the CW superhero shows, The Flash. First couple seasons of Flash were great. First couple seasons of Arrow were great. They've run their course at this point. I never watched Supergirl or Superwoman. What is it? Supergirl. Didn't watch it. Too far. Legends of Tomorrow sucked.
God, it was awful.
I didn't even watch it.
Yeah.
But they did the crossovers, and it was kind of cool to see that.
Yeah.
I appreciate what they're trying to do, but every show runs its course at a certain point, and Arrow's just done.
So the reason CW is saying they're getting rid of it is because they're trying to like bring in the new DC shows because they have a whole bunch of new ones with.
Great.
Cool. They're all going to be the same. They're all going to be Arrow. I mean, it's fine. Again, I don't look for these shows to be the best shows on the planet. These are candy. These are, hey, I want to just decompress the end of the night. Oh, what's on? Oh, I got 3 episodes of fucking Flash. Sure, I'll watch these. Oh, did they not talk to each other again or actually just be open and honest with each other and just fucking, that would have totally solved the problem? No. Are they always, quote unquote, doing something horribly stupid to protect each other? I did it to protect you. Stop protecting me.
So are you totally done with The Flash? Because I think I'm like 2 seasons behind, but I really like.
I think I'm caught up on Flash actually.
Really?
I think I watched all of the last season of it, but I don't know because they all run into each other.
I love that midway through it you
Yeah, I
realized
realized this is a joke.
stopped and then restarted.
Yeah. I want you all to understand that. That's the magic of Nick.
Well.
Yeah. I don't know. Whatever. They're gone.
All right, and then Gundam a new story. Gundam live action adaptation to be penned by Y the Last Man writer Brian K. Vaughan.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, really interesting
news.
story. Yeah,
This is the type of news that I'll believe it when I see a trailer for it.
I'm in the same boat right there.
It just doesn't sound like it's actually going to happen.
They fucked me. There's 75 followers. You guys fucked me, DJ Kento.
Good job, guys.
Idiot.
Good job.
You all went to Kinda Funny, SoundCloud.com/KindaFunnyAF and followed, and that I hate it. Don't do it. First psychology.
I got it. Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
when you say it.
Where's this coming out on? Or is this a comic book?
No, it's gonna be a movie.
No, movie.
Okay.
Yeah. But like,
A
yeah,
Gundam movie
that's the answer to your question.
is going to be very difficult to get right.
Yep.
I do think that I'm a big fan of Brian K. Vaughan. So
Now-
Brian K. Vaughan,
I'm a big fan of Brian K.
Sonic,
Vaughan's.
right? Yeah,
This Sonic movie?
Saga.
Oh, so yes. So I'm a big fan of Brian K. Vaughan as a comic book writer.
Yeah.
Not a fan of his television stuff that he's done.
I'm unfamiliar.
He has done Lost seasons, or he was executive producer and showrunner of Lost seasons 3 to 5.
Okay.
Not great seasons.
Lost?
Yeah.
You mean, Lost television show. Not his fault,
Wait,
though.
but he worked frequently in Hollywood, working as a writer, story editor, producer on Lost. Okay.
Cool.
And showrunner
Too many cooks in the
of
kitchen.
Under the Dome.
This could
show I
be
did not
interesting because I feel like he has that sensibility for the kind of space opera epics.
Yeah.
As he's proven,
Clearly. Yeah,
like,
with Saga.
And I feel like Saga has a amazing overarching story, but it also tells really good bite-sized bits. So like I feel like with focus, he could make a good movie. Right?
Do you know anything about the Gundam storyline of like what the world is
there
like?
There was one series I watched of it, 125 episode series. I forgot which one it was. To me, Gundams are always cooler than anything. It's just like, oh, they look fucking rad.
Yeah,
that's
they look
enough for me.
so rad.
Yeah. But I know that there's a couple of really, really beloved franchises within the franchise.
Yeah.
So series within the franchise. But yeah, a movie out of this, it's going to be very hard because. You know, like there's so much backstory with these type of things. It's like that's why they work as anime. It's like anime. I feel like we might run into the same issue we had with
the Alita. Yeah,
you know, the Alita situation, as I like to call it.
Not doing. I mean, it's doing all right box office. It did pretty well worldwide, but I don't think we're gonna see a sequel.
Do you think we see this Gundam movie?
I don't know, because I feel like that it's a name people know, but. It's also one like that like has a negative where it's like that also means it might never get made because people are excited and like it'll go through production hell and get lost forever.
I don't know, man. There's something about big mechs that we haven't seen done right.
A lot of people really like
look at Pacific Rim.
Pacific Rim. A lot of people like it.
Like it though.
Yeah.
Like that's still not. They haven't hit. They haven't like made it work.
Also, remember those like mechs from Matrix? Revolutions? Huh?
Yeah. Those are cool. Remember the guys like this, I believe Neo. And everyone in the audience was like, just kill this fucking guy. This guy's terrible. Just fucking kill him. I want the machines to win. Great storytelling, Wachowski siblings. I'm whatever. Brian K. Vaughan, good. Could be good. Probably not. Probably gonna be the drop in the hat. I don't know.
It ain't gonna happen.
Yeah. Do you think it's gonna happen?
No.
Yeah. I just don't believe that it's gonna happen. Too big of a world. Speaking of things that probably aren't going to happen, but God, I want them to. Our next story: Oscar Isaac wants to star in Metal Gear Solid movie, and director Jordan Voight Roberts is into it.
That'd be great.
Did you guys see these tweets?
I saw I saw a little bit of the back and forth.
So
this smacks of like just silliness and having him go like, I would totally do this.
Well, IGN was interviewing Oscar Isaacs and. They were asking everyone for some.
Is there an S at the end of his name?
No.
Okay.
Sorry.
I did the same thing.
They were interviewing everyone in the.
Because you're thinking Walter Isaacson, who is the guy that did the
exactly
Jobs biography. Great book. Great book.
They were doing the press rounds for Triple Frontier, and they asked everyone there like, "Hey, are there any video game movies you want to be in?" And everyone was like. Except for Oscar Isaac. That sounds weird. And he was like, "Oh, I really want to. Like, it'd be really cool, like to be
Snake."
in
Yeah,
Metal
Boss
Gear.
Logic, the like super famous.
I fucking love that dude. I follow him on Instagram.
Photoshop guy.
Yeah.
Did Oscar Isaac as.
Well,
he's an artist.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what like he is an artist, but like
then Jordan Voight Roberts responded to like IGN's like tweet being like with the headline. Being like, yeah, it's really cool, and I like this idea. In fact, and then it was a screenshot of his DMs from August, where he was like, has a lot of stuff redacted, but it's clear that he's asking for and has an image of Oscar Isaac.
This Metal Gear Solid movie is so interesting to me because
it's never gonna happen.
I think that Jordan Voight Roberts is going to will it into existence.
Hopefully.
I feel like that's been going on for so long already.
The problem is he's not the gatekeeper of it. Kojima, it's just
that's the problem. Is
there's so many different people who have
exactly.
What's Konami, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't see this happening. I don't see it happening with any degree of certainty in the next.
Do you want it
few years.
to happen?
I do want it to happen. I want his vision to happen. Everything
Yeah.
that we've seen from the concept art, from all of the weird leaked stuff, from all of the storyboards and everything, it's like he has an understanding of how to make that story work as a movie. And I think that it'd be really cool if they did it. I also don't think the budget would need to be that high for the story that they're trying to tell there. And I also think that so many people just want to be a part of it that they'd be like, fuck it, I'm doing this. Like I can see Oscar Isaac, not taking his normal rate or whatever, with union things in mind, of course, but like to make this shit happen because it's fucking rad. And I also think that Konami, with where we're at right now with like movie rights of game franchises, like I do think that we'll see this at some point. I just don't know when, and it might be a long time, but I think that he's just going to keep working on it and get more people like excited and want to be a part of it, and then it's going to happen.
But like, do you want to see him direct it?
Yeah.
Yeah?
He gives a fuck. He cares about this shit so much.
I really didn't like Kong Skull Island, though.
That's irrelevant, though.
Yeah.
Like, that's my thing is, like, was he passionate about that? Like, did he care about that the way that he cares about Metal Gear? Like, he has a story to tell here. I don't know that he had a story to tell there.
I mean, the other issue that I have with Metal Gear is that the stories that they tell, like, I think part of the reason why people love Metal
Tread
Gear.
lightly, you son of a bitch.
No. I mean,
right.
like, well, part of the reason why I think a lot of people like Metal Gear is because it is so kind of outside of the box as far as the storytelling is concerned. And I do worry that in order to actually make it kind of something that's going to be a mainstream hit, you're going to have to take some of that magic away from it. Like when I've played or seen or read stories about Metal Gear, like the only one I've ever played was Phantom Pain, but even that story where you just
Didn't have a story.
Yeah, that really didn't have a story. Like, and I'm not trying to be mean to it.
No, I mean, I also
Yeah.
watched the full playthrough of when Jeff Haynes played Guns the Patriot. So
You have a very bad warped sense of it. Like Metal Gear 1 story is what they should tell, or some variation.
Sure,
of it.
but
Metal Gear
what I'm
Solid
saying
2
is
all the
that
way, you know what I
even
mean?
going back and looking at those stories, like there's a lot of off the wall elements and a lot of things that they bring in that is less traditional Western storytelling, like that I think is part of the magic of Metal Gear. That I think that's going to be the tricky part of them doing these movies. Is like how do you introduce clones and things like that in a way that doesn't seem that you're just like, okay, that's out of fucking nowhere. But I think that's one part of the reason why people love it, because it's kind of bordering on the absurd.
That is true. A lot of stuff is bordering on absurd. There is a lot of buildup that goes to it, and like you did jump on the boat very late story wise.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've multiple times asked people to recap me the story of like one and all these things, and people I'm like, you sound like a crazy person right now.
One's not crazy. One totally works, and I think that you can tell that story in 2 hours.
I once spent like an hour and a half telling Paula the story of Metal Gear without talking about the Metal Gears.
Metal Gear.
Like, it took me so long to get there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Either way, I think he could do a good job of the movie. I just feel like this is going to be this whole conversation smacks with the same concept of when we were talking about the Halo movie being a thing, and we haven't seen that
It's
happen.
different though, because we have someone that cares. There
Well,
was
we
no one
had-
that cared about Halo.
Yeah, I mean, we had what's his name? We had
It
Elysium
kept
guy.
changing hands, right?
We had I mean, it was rumored for a while that
Blump.
God, no, I can't remember his name. Thank you.
That's
He was
all right.
supposed to
Yeah,
do
I
it.
was
He would have
there.
been great, but gone.
Yeah.
Gone.
I mean, I think the other big thing is, like, let's just be perfectly honest. Like, movies are great, but they're a much bigger risk than games.
Mm-hmm.
And the Metal Gear, if let's put it this way, if there was another Metal Gear game coming out, which I know it's stuck in fucking, it's crazy and it's
they're done,
controversial.
they're done.
But even if they did that, it would sell like fucking hot. It would be crazy. So why not just make
don't know
another
if it
game?
would.
Oh, I think it. Well,
Metal Gear
maybe
Survive.
not
Well,
without.
Yeah, Metal Gear Survive did
Kojima
not
now.
do well. I mean, I don't know actually.
Survive did horribly.
Okay, yeah,
yeah.
that's
it was
One of
Was
the
it a
biggest,
bad game too, though?
It was
Yeah,
fucking
it was
horrible.
awful.
That sucks.
Yeah.
That's heartbreaking.
only Metal Gear game I've played.
Why, Barrett?
Jesus Christ.
You should play
Just to
Phantom
piss
Pain.
you
It's
off.
really good. I love that fucking game. It
Dude,
makes no sense.
The
but I love
mechanics.
it.
Wait, the mechanics of Phantom Pain are
Perfect gameplay. 10 out of 10.
yeah.
The story of that game is
There's no.
It's upsetting.
no, it's horrible. It's fucking
dumb.
horrible, man. It's unfinished.
I'm gonna move on to our last story. Bob Iger says Disney Fox deal will close soon, and Disney's new streaming service will include the entire Disney motion picture library.
So this was a very interesting investor phone
What's
call.
a big deal?
I read the transcripts of the entire thing. A lot of really cool, interesting
Yep.
stuff for the future here.
They talked in that same call. They talked a lot about Galaxy's End, which is the Star Wars land.
is coming. The details of
Yeah.
it. There's like they have a date for it, like the soft launch. and a lot
Yeah,
of the
which
rides
means
aren't
there's not
working
gonna be
and
rides.
stuff.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And also, you're not gonna fucking get to see that even if you go to Disneyland every day because it's gonna be packed as hell.
Packed.
Regardless of Disneyland news, cool as fuck. Can't wait for that stuff. But there's a lot of big things here, like the Fox merger. Like how many times have we heard it's almost done? It's almost done. It's almost done. From my understanding now, it's like the holdup now is Mexico, and the Mexico thing's gonna go through.
Yep.
And it sounds like it's gonna go through as early as March 12th. So
Right around the
that's
corner.
cool. That would be the last.
It's next Monday, right? Is
Yeah,
when
yeah. So that's the end of that, and like hopefully that happens. Moving on from that, I really enjoyed the way that he talked about what that merger is going to mean for Disney and for its properties going forward, where he explicitly said that Fox Searchlight it will remain a property under Disney,
Cool.
under the name Fox. So
which I think is really cool.
It is, and so they're
Also
gonna
FX
keep,
too.
and if FX is gonna stay, so they're gonna keep that for R-rated movies and to have that kind of be not just R-rated movies, but to have a different style. And I think that that's super necessary going forward, especially with the news, the Disney Plus stuff, and it having the entire cinematic library of Disney. What does that mean? Like, how far back does that go?
Steamboat Willie.
Just is that just the cartoons, or are they talking about Marvel and everything? Because it sounds like
I would
that's
imagine
what
they're talking
saying.
about everything.
Every single
Which-
Disney movie ever.
Like
Which
last
also
week,
includes Fox.
last week for the Bronze Terrier people, I asked them if like they were interested in the Disney Plus, and actually I have a bunch of responses.
Trying to think of, was The Rock's The Tooth Fairy a Disney movie? Because I haven't seen that yet.
I think it
really
is.
like to.
I think it is. But honestly, this is a game changer for me because originally I was like, it's cool. Like I'm sure it's gonna have something, but if it has all the like movies that are like, there's no more Volt. Now it's like you can just stream all of the animated movies that like we grew up with.
We've heard
It's really rad.
conflicting rumors though, because last year there was the news articles about hearing that rated R movies weren't going to be part of this at all, and that I just don't understand how that works in this landscape. We talked about it a couple of weeks on this show. I firmly believe that they're going to be family first, but that there's going to be like just an option to go one step deeper, maybe with a parental code or something to get to the rest of it, because that's just kind of.
It seems like a mistake.
It seems like a big mistake, and it will definitely hinder their library to do that.
How much though? Like how many Disney movies are really like popular Disney movies rated R?
Yeah, but think about it. It's not just.
But yeah, Disney owns
movies.
other companies
Miramax
too.
and
Yeah.
Fox
Yeah.
and
Disney owns Miramax?
I don't know.
Okay. But
Don't just say
like-
now Fox.
Well, but whatever.
Searchlight,
Those
yeah.
like I don't know the fucking like
Yeah.
how the studios all fall down, but isn't it though? Isn't
What?
Miramax?
I don't think
Miramax
so.
is a Disney property.
Really?
Yeah, Disney bought them a long time ago.
A long time ago, or
That's
like
why the
when
that's
shit
why
went-
the Weinstein. It was called the Weinstein.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
right. Yeah.
They bought them on there. I think so. I think they own all the. If I'm not mistaken, I think they own all the View Askew-averse stuff.
Miramax.
So
does.
that's what I'm saying is it's like once you
So
start
Disney does?
realizing the ramifications of this beyond just the Disney animated movies, like there's a huge library, and if we're getting all of them, access to all of them, woo, it's insane.
People are saying Touchstone also owned by it. Yeah, Disney owns a lot of. I mean, I think they own Emblem.
Yeah,
Right? No,
could-
Universal owns Emblem.
So DJ Kento in the submission says, I'm definitely getting Disney Plus. I'm a diehard Star Wars fan, but more than that, Disney's back catalog of movies, TV shows, specials, and more worth the cost, I think.
Great.
Hoping for the Disney afternoon to get brought back an HD remastered and WB did for Batman, like WB did for Batman the Animated Series. Gargoyles HD, baby. Let's go. Let's fucking go. If they were to include the cartoons, like, done, man. I'd be so in. Like, without even thinking.
That's
how
the
much
thing
would
is-
it cost? Like, how much am I
yeah,
willing
like,
to
at
pay?
what
I don't
point-
know. Yeah.
Is this a digital streaming service like we've never seen before, right? Where there's just so much content, because you got to realize that them doing this means that they're not getting the rental money from digital things that they're
But you got to
I
imagine.
mean, the licensing fees for Netflix stuff like that.
for Amazon.
I mean, I'm
for,
sure-
like,
I'm sure that'll still- I'm
Amazon's
sh-
taking a cut out of that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there'll still be.
Yeah, and we're in a very similar situation with the Xbox Game Pass, where it's like, how could they possibly put their first-party titles on this service? That means they're going to lose the sales, but they understand.
Instead,
that
they get all the
they
sales.
get all of this,
Plus-
but like that is an insane amount. We're not talking about 4 first-party titles a year. We're talking about thousands of movies that they could be making money from. Then they still will. It's not like everyone's going to adopt this. There still will be people.
Yeah, that's
renting.
the thing. I have a feeling that like the hardcore people that have their collection on multiple platforms, DVDs, Blu-rays, and now starting 4K, like those people are still going to buy physical copies of stuff.
Yeah, I'm not talking about the physical. The physical copy.
You're
People
talking more
are
about
such
the renting window.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
or
it'd be-
even the digital purchasing. It's just like the way most people now buy or watch content at home. So,
Well, I mean, is that so? I'm sorry, I'm confused about this. So are they saying straight up they're not like every Marvel movies that come out are just going to go straight to that platform, or are they still going to offer it on demand and things like that?
no, it's offered.
No.
Yeah,
It's still very vague, and we're not 100% sure what it means.
Yeah, because I mean, my guess would be that they're still going to have the traditional windows of like
Oh,
you can purchase, you can rent,
sure,
all that stuff
absolutely.
across all the
Yeah,
mediums. It's just when it goes to VOD, it's only going to be available there, which I think is super
Yeah.
smart.
I don't think it's only going to be available there.
I would imagine it's eventually only going to be available
I don't
there.
think so. No
You think
way.
they're still going to license it out to Netflix and Amazon and stuff like
Not
that?
not Netflix.
Yeah.
I think that you can't. You're probably going to be able to still buy it on Vudu or
rent it even.
Amazon. Yeah.
Right, but the question is like, I mean, this is what they're fighting for is the supremacy of VOD and who's gonna
I
have the
feel like
best
the-
streaming
the-
service. And this is gonna
Yeah, but Amazon Prime is a streaming service, even if it's not the.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is like eventually are they saying like, hey, you will not be able to get Avengers Endgame anywhere past a certain point unless you're trying to stream that on the
I feel like that'd be a really
for
smart
free
move.
for
They won't do
free.
that.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
Like I'm saying, like you can always rent it on Amazon
So,
Prime.
like, you
But,
won't be
right
able to
now,
find it
I
on
can go on
Netflix.
Netflix right
Yeah.
now and watch Iron Man 2, which for some reason keeps fucking getting referred to me.
If you watch it, it's good.
I mean, great movie.
It's not great.
Great movie.
It's very
Yeah.
okay.
That's it. That's all I got.
Yeah. All right.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Which means it's time for an ad. Our first sponsor today is Quip. One of the most important things we do for our health every day is brushing our teeth, yet most of us don't do it properly. It's your oral health. And with Quip electric toothbrush, sticking to good habits is simple. Sensitive sonic vibrations for an effective clean that's gentle on your sensitive gums. Built in 2-minute timer, pulses every 30 seconds to remind you when to switch sides and help you clean your whole mouth evenly. Multi-use cover works as a stand, mounts to mirrors, and slides over your bristles to pack and protect your Quip.
I
Nick,
can confirm all of this is true. I've been using my Quip. I love
you got
my
that
Quip.
dope
Got the jet black
all
on black.
You got the-
It's
you
up
got- I
limited
don't-
edition, baby.
so
Man,
cool.
It's so sexy.
Why do you always get
And
those?
it makes my mouth feel good. I never realized that I was brushing my teeth incorrectly.
No one
now
does.
I do.
Now, yeah.
And the vibration, the timer, I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Great system. I love it. The packaging's super sleek, and I love how little space this takes up now in my shower with the.
It looks so cool on the...
It looks great. The stand's great. The toothpaste is great. Big fan.
So that's why we love Quip and why over 1 million happy, healthy mouths do too. Quip starts at just $25, and if you go to getquip.com, KFMS right now, you can get your first refill pack for free. That's your first refill pack for free at getquip.com/KFMS. Our second sponsor today, Audible. With Audible, you get access to an unbeatable selection of audiobooks, including bestsellers, motivation, mysteries, thrillers, memoirs, and more. Audible has the largest selection of audiobooks on the planet, and now with Audible Originals, the selection has gotten even more custom. With content made for members, Nick used Audible to listen to Stephen King's Salem's Lot.
I did.
And loved it.
I loved it. Audible's great. I mean, you're gonna get to that part of the ad where they say you can listen to this anywhere. You really can.
Yeah.
That part of the thing I love about that is I don't like wasting time. Okay. I like to fill up every second and maximize it.
Yeah.
And one of the best ways to do that is when I'm in the car, when I'm cooking, when I'm walking, when I'm sleeping. You can listen to a book and it's fantastic. You feel like you get the most out of it. Plus, I don't have to hold anything, which is great.
Yeah. I also use Audible. I actually got M.K. Gibson, a best friend that came on here, Villain's Pride and Villain's Rule. Fantastic books that I highly recommend. And it's, super easy for long drives. Anytime I'm doing my woodworking, I like just having the headphones on and just spacing out.
I like to imagine Kevin's got a whole room where he opens it up and it's just like beavers that are carved out of wood. It's a family of beavers.
I like to think that too.
Come on, it's fun, right? It makes you happy, right?
Audible members can choose 3 titles every month, 1 audiobook and 2 Audible originals
That one got
you
there.
can't hear anywhere else. Audible members also get access to exclusive audio fitness programs to start the new year off anywhere, at home, at gyms, on your commute, or just on the go. You'll also enjoy easy audiobook exchange, rollover credits, and audiobook libraries you can keep forever, even if you cancel. Audible, the most inspiring minds, the most compelling stories, the best place to listen to audible.com/KF. No, I'm sorry. Go to audible.com/KF or text KF to 500-500 and listen for a change. That's AUDIBL.com/KF.
It's
What?
not that. It's AUDIBLE.com.
Sorry.
/
KF or text KF to 500 and listen for a change.
God bless you, Kevin.
I tell you,
God bless you.
I don't like when you look at me. I hate
I wasn't looking at you.
BG2580's new KF show idea, shop class with Kevin. I love it. Just the amount of times that Kevin would electrocute himself during that shot with that show would be
don't
great.
electrocute myself at home.
You electrocuted yourself literally yesterday.
Because this thing is just constantly shocking me.
I think it's because I think I figured it out with Kevin.
No,
he's got
Nick,
a negative magnetic pull than everyone else in the world, and when somebody touches things, he repulses them.
Touch Skycam. Do it.
I'm not touching.
I want to go
like
back to something
right
that got brought up during the ads. Kevin's beaver collection. So the weird thing about this, Nick, is this is a classic Nick train of thought of, okay, Kevin is talking about woodwork. And you're like, okay, I like to imagine. He starts thinking.
Kevin has beavers.
He starts thinking about Kevin's woodwork shop, and he's like, okay, if I open the doors, what would I see? And then yes, it's like, oh, wood and beavers. Beavers do stuff with wood, so it's like,
so Kevin's carving beavers.
Yes, it quickly transformed to Kevin
Because he
making
remembered
beavers
halfway through. Oh, Kevin's doing woodworking, not the beavers.
Yeah.
He's making beavers.
Would you believe that I was going to say woodchucks at first, but that's too much wood.
I would.
So then I was trying to think of the word chipmunk, but beaver came out, and so I was like, well, beaver's already out there. Let's go with
I feel like
In reality, what I'd like to believe is there's just a whole room full of small woodland creatures that you've carved out of wood that you like to believe that you're like the evil witch from like Snow White, or you've turned them all into like stone, but it's wood instead. And you go there and you're like, these are actually my little...
the plot of Snow White?
I can't remember what fucking movie they did. What movie am I thinking of where like everyone's turned to stone? Wow, I just watched it.
The Care Bears?
Chat will let me know.
Did the Care Bears
It
turn
was
to stone?
not Snow White. Snow White had animals. Yeah.
Yeah, fuck
Okay,
it.
what's the next thing?
All right, now it's time for some trailer talk. We got some great trailers today that I want to talk about.
Let's get in it. Narnia? No, I'm fucking Narnia.
Was it The Last Unicorn?
I'll figure it out. Let's go into the trailer talk.
So the first one is Brightburn. Trailer number 2 came out. Man, I'm real excited for this movie.
I am not at all.
Really?
Oh my God. I did not like that.
I was excited for the first trailer. The second trailer, they showed too much, and a lot of the effects don't look very good.
They don't.
And I love Elizabeth Banks. I think she can definitely carry this from like an emotional standpoint. But it'll be. Stop showing trailers for this. Let me just go see the movie, because that last shot really ruined it for me. Where it was
Really?
like where she's underneath the thing,
Yeah,
and
hiding under a counter.
It just looks
and
really
he just
cheesy.
flies. Yeah, but like I don't know.
It's a great concept. For
It's
a movie.
such a good concept.
And it's
I'm
James
very
Gunn.
excited to see it.
Has a little bit to do with this.
I think he like just produced it.
Yeah, but I mean, he's got
He got
But like
multiple credits
his
in
name
it.
is on there.
Here's
a
the
lot.
producer. He's the guy that directed Guardians. It's like, God, guys,
Yeah,
stop.
they really want to throw his name out there for
But
you.
the thing is, he's also the guy that directed Slither, I want to say is what it was called, which was a fun, silly, like horror movie, and I like that vibe. And so, I mean, I don't think this is gonna have a similar vibe, but if we can recreate some of that magic, I'm in.
Yeah, I don't think this is going to be good.
Really?
I feel like this trailer was the movie, and I don't think it's good. Like there was
that's
a couple jump
bummer.
scares that I enjoyed. Like she was in the weird refrigerator
Yeah,
or whatever,
and
he like jumps at her.
Oh, yeah.
Like that was crazy. The glass in the eye, unnecessary.
No, super unnecessary. But it tells you this movie's gonna be like crazy gory. Yeah. But him burning through the door as she's hiding in the fridge. Like, dude, that's so cool. And also, anytime you see the glowing eyes, because like we've never seen a bad glowing eye, like where it's a bad guy who's glowing out. Aside from like shitty Zod
I guess my problem
stuff.
is watching this. I was just like, all right, this looks not quite as good as Chronicle, even though it has a similar vibe. It also doesn't look like it's doing anything too interesting. Where it's like, cool, I've never seen this take before. Like this is a unique thing, but nothing about it's unique. Like I without even seeing this trailer, I could have been like, this is what's probably going to happen. And then watching it, you're like, oh, this is what happens.
Also, kids creepy, just in general.
Kids
right?
are fucking creepy.
They're like little people.
Yeah.
Scary.
Great input.
They can fit into smaller places.
They can fit into smaller places.
You know what I mean? You can't see them because you're like, is that a hole? And then you look at it, and then like
Like,
a
oh,
kid
the
jumps
kid's
out
in
at
the
you like a
hole.
fucking gopher.
I'm really stoked to this movie. I think the concept's really interesting. Can't wait to watch it. Moving on to our next trailer, we're talking about Midsummer.
Midsummer, man, kind of coming out of nowhere. Didn't expect it this soon.
A lot of people being like, "Oh, it's Hereditary too."
Spiritual successor to Hereditary at the very least, like the follow up. I will say that I enjoy Ari Aster, I think is the director. I enjoy his take on horror and how just ridiculously committed he is to doing something different. I love the palette of this movie. We've never seen a bright horror movie before. It reminds me of I feel like the closest we've seen is The Witch. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Witch?
But that wasn't bright. That was also still very gloomy in color.
But still, it was bright just in the sense of like it was bright gray.
There was yeah.
You know?
There was
it wasn't
there was
dark.
a lot of like here's very majestic shots of nature.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's most interesting for me is like this reminds me a lot of the Hereditary trailer in the sense that like it gives me that same creepy like the world is somehow wrong.
Well, they use mouth sounds a lot. Obviously with the Hereditary and in the trailers, which was very unnerving, and they do that again here with a multitude of them. It's not just one thing, but you hear a lot of like as like the rhythm going through the whole thing. And then when it builds up to that end bit where you just hear a room full of women wailing. Yeah. Like that shit's fucking creepy. The thing I liked least about the trailer was the chimes that like kind of built up. I feel like that was like the cheap thing where they're like, all right, this doesn't look scary because it's so bright, so we need to add something that's familiar to people to get them freaked out. But that's a minor criticism for something that looks batshit insane, very unnerving. Yep. And I just love that we're at a point now with Jordan Peele and his kind of line, and now Ari Aster and his kind of line of horror movies that aren't necessarily tied together, but maybe they are. I don't know. We'll have to see in both cases, you know, and I think that's very cool. They don't need to be tied to each other either, is I think the key thing. Hereditary did a lot right. It did some things wrong. I feel like not everything nailed the landing, but
I really liked Hereditary.
Me too.
I think as far as horror movies go, it is like really high up on my list of horror.
I agree. And with this, I feel like there was many shots in it. Like I was frame by framing it. There's some fucked up imagery in this, like a bear split open, and they're like not doing surgery on it. I don't know what they're doing, but it's probably icky.
Guts, maybe looking at them.
Maybe little kids in there.
His organs because it's high in protein and nutrients.
And then there's that one shot of that woman's face that looks
it's all messed up,
disfigured,
which I assume is someone having an allergic reaction.
Then there's another shot of somebody like seemingly suiciding, like jumping off something, but like Crash Bandicoot, spread eagle. Weird shit. A lot of interesting camera work of characters looking directly into the camera really close up. You just don't see that type of shit. Yeah. You know, it's like where it feels like they're addressing the camera as a person. I don't know, man.
It's interesting that it reminds me so much of Hereditary's trailer, but it's totally a different color palette where it's like pastels, which you don't associate with horror, so it's so off-putting.
I'm gonna tell you this right now. If someone goes, hey, we're going to this cool thing that only happens once every 90 years, don't go to it.
Woodstock.
No,
don't go to it.
Cool.
Don't go to it. If they're like, hey,
also,
this is a really cool like
Woodstock 99?
This is a cool like everyone wears white and it's out in the middle of nowhere and it only happens every 90 years, you're getting eaten. Someone's gonna fucking drug you and eat
Wicker Man style stuff.
Oh my god, don't go to it.
Are you excited at all for this movie?
I mean, I'm excited for you guys for this movie. This is not. I didn't see Hereditary. No, I was going to, but I'll be honest with you, I chickened out. It's scary looking, and I don't like that. And this looks cool. And for people who are fans of this level of disturbing, like there's horror, and then there's like disturbing shit. Yeah. And this looks like it's in disturbing
That was Hereditary
shit.
right there.
Horror I'm just acclimating to, I can deal with, but this stuff is like the kind of shit that like you wake up 2 days later and you're like, why did I just dream about that?
Yeah, totally.
I don't need it.
That's what Hereditary was for me. I will say that had I just seen this trailer and not watched Hereditary, I wouldn't really be that interested. I feel like he's definitely earned the standards that we have, and like I look at this, I'm like, I know this is gonna be good based on what we've seen. But
I think I still would have been interested because like the trailer just gets me. Like he knows how to, or whoever cuts these trailers, they're doing a great job.
I read an interview of he was saying that this is gonna be his last horror movie though for at least a while.
Probably smart. I mean, you don't want to pigeonhole yourself as a horror guy. Like I'm looking at it right now, and he's known for these like Hereditary and this upcoming movie. I'm like, you got to make something. Let's make a comedy. Let's break out of this. Because everyone wants those Marvel movies, you know what I mean? So let's get a little lighthearted fare in there so we can get Captain Marvel too. You know what I'm talking about?
You know what I mean? Let's get excited.
Yeah, you think so. Then you see New Mutants, you're like, I don't need it.
Oh, that's
I don't need it.
That's fine.
I don't need it.
All right. Next trailer we watched that we're discussing now is Shazam.
Dude,
Cool trailer.
come on, son.
Right? I mean,
you two
that
need
looks
to
so
get
much-
on the fucking Shazam
What did
train.
I just say? What did I just say?
Yeah, you two. You guys are one. You're Kev Tim in my book. Okay.
No, but I just said 2 seconds before you said
You know
that.
what?
I said I'm in.
You know
I
what?
literally said I'm in.
You know what? This guy right here, he fucking gets it. Come here. No, I think this is gonna be a really fun movie. I think it has some funny laughs. It got me. The last shot got me, where he's like able to leap tall buildings in a single
Yeah,
bound.
it's
He goes,
really cool.
Bam,
And
just
fucking
slams into the
misses.
building. I think that's great, and I think obviously like you make it a Shazam movie. You got to know what it is. It's Shazam. It's not Superman. You got to have a little fun with it. And you know, Zach Levi, I like him. I'm in. Let's go.
This is my favorite trailer so far. For it.
Yeah.
I thought that there was some things that worked, some things that didn't work.
I mean,
but
that's
overall,
yeah.
it's cool. I hope the movie's good.
I hope the movie is entertaining and stands on its own 2 legs and doesn't leave me more confused and befuddled than when I went in.
I think
That's
that's
what I
safe to
want.
say that will happen.
I think that's all I want.
Yeah, like I, think
want-
it's gonna
I
work
would-
as a movie,
standalone
as a
movie.
standalone movie.
I think Mark Strong as the villain is great. I think I'd like this just to be on the level of entertainment and makes enough sense like Wonder Woman, and I think they can do that. I don't think it's going to be.
I think the villain, like, is going to be the worst part, and I hope that they've sorted it out. I hope that that's something that like is as fun as the rest of the story.
Sure.
But I just have a feeling like it's not going to be.
I really liked the score. I liked the use of the "My Name Is" motif.
Yeah, I figured. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
they got
They
Tim.
they
used
did
the
good with
Eminem.
it though. It's like they upped it a bit, and like added some like orchestral hits to it. I was like, let's fucking go, baby. But yeah, it seems funny. It seems cool. Like it definitely. I imagine that the movie's going to be, at the very worst, is going to be fine, and at its best, it could be great. Like I don't think it's going to be bad.
Did
I
it
don't
get
think it's
you
gonna be
more
bad.
excited for it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
Yeah,
Me
because
too.
I was going in. The other trailers didn't really do it for me. This one, I was
I
like,
enjoyed
all
the
right.
other trailers.
They were fine.
Yeah.
They're totally fine. But like, I remember a lot of people were like, "This looks awesome." I'm like, "It doesn't look awesome. It looks fine."
I feel like we're getting closer to that now with this last trailer. Like that looked like a lot of fun. There were a lot of
I
scenes
still
where
don't
I
need
feel
to
like,
watch it day one. Like, I'll watch it week
but
one.
you should.
I'll watch it week
You
one.
should. We can come on here and talk about it.
Maybe. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Maybe.
We'll see.
And the last trailer we're discussing today, Game of Thrones season 8 final trailer.
I'm gonna come out with a hot take.
Go.
No.
Don't
Go.
Stop
Go.
it.
I didn't need that trailer at
Go.
all.
Fuck you,
Exactly.
Tim.
Didn't
Okay.
need it.
Exactly.
It did nothing for me. And here's the thing. No Game of Thrones trailer that has actual footage from the season has ever done anything for me. It's contextless, and it
But-
makes you start thinking. And I don't want to see that. I don't want to see who's
You don't
with
want
who,
you don't like the dragons
where,
flying around
'cause
fighting
it's
each
like,
other.
No, just
Dude, come on. The dragons flying around Winterfell.
I'm excited to see that in the show. We're so close. Like,
Jon
just don't do that.
and-
Just show us teaser trailers. Like, show us things to get us hype about the tone and about the feeling. Like, ask.
Dude, but John and
make
Danny
us
walking in.
ask what questions are going to be answered.
But that's what the first 2 trailers were all about, right?
Yeah. Cool.
I don't know. I thought this was a lot of fun. And this certainly, with what, we're 2 weeks out? No, a month out.
Month out.
April 15th, I think it is.
Let's
April
fucking
14th.
go.
Like, I at this point, like, I want to get a little teases of like what it's gonna be. I like seeing other people break stuff down. Like, I really like this trailer. Like, this got me hyped. God, I can't wait for more of it.
Nothing could get me more hyped. I think that's kind of
Yeah.
the
You're
problem
hype
I'm
raw?
facing. It's just like I'm at maximum hype for this and Endgame. You know, I don't need another Endgame trailer. I fucking don't.
Yeah.
We're gonna get one.
You're gonna get one.
We're gonna get one.
You're gonna get multiple.
We
You're gonna
should
get TV
watch it.
spots.
Yeah,
they're
of
gonna
course,
ramp that shit up.
But
I mean, I'm kind of with Tim on this, right? You said let's watch this trailer. I'm like, I don't need to. I don't want to. I watched
you?
it. I'm like, it's fine. Yeah, I watched it. It's fine. But I mean, it's true. Like, it is contextless, and you're just seeing Arya, and you're just seeing like different stuff happening. And I mean, I like the shot of them riding into Winterfell
It's a cool
together.
shot,
I thought
yeah.
that was pretty cool. I like a little bit of the narration where he's like, we're fighting these things that don't stop, and they don't this yada yada. But I know all that. I don't need all that. This is a foregone conclusion in my book. I'm gonna like this series no matter the season, no matter what.
Yeah.
Let's just get to it. Let's go. I mean, it's the end.
Yeah, but
And they
like, that
haven't
doesn't
done
mean
it-
you're gonna like it no matter
they
what.
haven't
What if
done-
Joffrey comes back as a White Walker and takes
That'd be
over?
hilarious. No, but I mean, they haven't done us wrong yet, and I think there hasn't been a bad season of Game of Thrones yet. Like,
you hated season 5.
did I?
Yeah.
What was season 5? Which one was
Season
that?
5 was
was
the
just the
boring season where
slow one.
which ended, or in season 6 had a ton of payoff.
Yeah.
which was cool, but it was very slow.
Season 6 is the first good season of that show. Hot take.
Bear, I need you to mute your mic.
Nope.
Barrett, I need you to just disappear and reappear with the cool iced coffee for me.
I'm so excited for it.
Yeah.
I have full faith that it's going to be great and amazing and tie the story that the TV show is telling. I don't give a fuck about the books. Like I don't care about if they don't do this or they wouldn't have done that. It's like
Doesn't matter.
They've
I
been
fell
telling
in
an
love
amazing
with-
story on TV and they're going to end it. And this is going to be one of the greatest epics ever told on video. So
I'm legitimately thinking about getting Audibles to start listening to the books.
cool. That'd
'Cause,
be awesome.
a lot of people have a lot of positive things to say about them. There's some scenes in the trailers that get me so hyped, like everyone hiding in the crypts, where it's like, there's a war happening outside. Who is it? It's probably White Walkers and
I don't know if we talked
all
about
of the
this.
North, but I'm so excited. Like,
last
because
week.
what if it's not? You
I don't
know?
remember, but there was a report coming out that one of the episodes, the entire episode, is going to be a battle. Did we talk about that?
No, we didn't talk about that. That happened actually. I think I think it was late Friday that they said that it's going to be bigger than
It's more than that. It's going to be the biggest, longest recorded battle scene in recorded history. Not just Game of Thrones, but like anything. And that's insane because you got to imagine that's the fucking war, and we're about to see it with all the key players involved, and that's hype as fuck. That's all I need. That's what I need. I'm good.
I'm so excited, and they did such a good job with what was it, the Bastard Bowl, or what were they calling it?
The Battle of the Bastards.
The Battle of the Bastards.
Yeah.
like
Clegane Bowl is what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Let's fucking
you're
get
right,
hyped,
you're
baby.
right.
It's happening. I believe.
I mean, here's my thing. Let's just get it on. You know what I mean?
get it
Let's
on.
go.
it's so
Let's
exciting.
fucking
I'm
go.
so excited.
Yeah, I mean I timed this perfectly because we just got the HBO back, and now as a little aperitif, a little appetizer, watching the True Detective season 3, fantastic, getting me in the mindset for the more intense content. Then we're gonna go right into Game of Thrones. Can't
Game, baby.
wait,
Guys,
it's the only game that matters.
like rewatching it, like this series is so phenomenal. They've done such a good job with it. I can't wait. I'm so excited that it's ending too. And that's such a weird thing to say, but like, you know, it's one of them bittersweet things where it's like, it can't go on forever or it's gonna suck. And like, I'm glad that there's an end point.
We in the same month we're getting the end of Game of Thrones and Endgame.
Yeah,
How the fuck is this possible?
because life likes us. Because the
Likes
nerds
us
are
a lot.
winning. The nerds are winning.
All right, so now I'm gonna go to the segment called "Out Now" on streaming platforms. Not a lot going on. Netflix has Doubt, which I think was an Oscar-nominated movie, right? That's the movie about a nun
Meryl
accusing a priest. Yeah, a nun
Yeah.
accusing a priest
This-
of. It looked really intense.
Yeah.
Also, Blue Jasmine. And,
that's a great movie.
Yeah. Disney's Christopher Robin is also on Netflix now. Out on movie theaters near you, we've got Captain Marvel and The Kid, a trailer we talked about like 2 weeks ago.
What's the kid?
It was the like Western,
Oh, okay.
yeah, with.
Vincent D'Onofrio directed this. I'm in.
It looked interesting. You watched the trailer. Literally, like, oh, maybe you
Couldn't-
didn't. No, actually, I'm sorry, you didn't. That was the week you
it
were
was the
gone.
week Finnegan was
yeah,
on, yeah.
that was really funny.
I was like, I don't think so.
All right, so
Put it past me to forget it.
last week for the bronze tier people, I asked you guys if you were interested in Disney Plus. Lorraine says, assuming the Disney streaming shit has classic Disney movies, I'll sign up for the speed of light. Excited for the original Star Wars and Marvel shows too. Well, it looks like it's gonna, so it's good stuff. Wisemark just says no, nothing else. All right. Sorry, it's all cut up. Sam Mosier, yeah. Will I get Disney Plus? Only if The Mandalorian and the Clone Wars revival are good. Star Wars grabs me. Family-friendly content and more Marvel shows aren't enough. Makes sense. All right.
Speaking
so
of
now-
Marvel shows.
yeah. Now we're gonna be talking about Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Nick, you didn't watch it.
I did not watch it.
Before we even get into this,
Watching it this
just
weekend.
to
For-
be
and-
super clear about things,
Yeah.
our full review will be next week, Tuesday at 11 a.m. Pacific
PT.
in MCU in review.
Right.
We would be doing Captain Marvel. We'll see where it ranks with everything. This is more of a preliminary discussion. We're going to start off spoiler free. Nick's going to ask some questions that we'll answer
Yeah.
spoiler free. And then we're gonna get a little bit more spoilery, so you guys can leave, and that'll be the end of the show.
Yep.
Cool. So spoiler free. First question.
Wait, real
How does
quick.
it end? Just fucking,
Just real quick, for if anyone's leaving, once we jump into the spoilers, next week's bronze tier question is: I want a 140 character review of Captain Marvel. I want to know what you thought about it. Let us know, and keep it short. Don't give me an essay.
Keep it tight.
All right, Tim. Nick Nack.
same difference. What do you guys think? What's your
It
first
was good.
question? Yeah,
It was good.
I liked
Enjoyable.
it. I liked it. I was very pleasantly surprised because even though I wasn't excited for it, I still didn't get good vibes from the trailer. There were so many things where it's like, her acting looked awful, and
How was Brie Larson in it?
I thought she was great.
Okay.
I really enjoyed her.
Does she have good chemistry with Samuel L?
She certainly does.
Hard
and
not
even
to,
more
though.
so with her best friend.
Oh, really?
The best part of this movie is her and her best friend. It's fantastic. Like, that stuff's fantastic. My take on it, it's a good movie. It has a lot really of good things going for it. The score is awesome. They finally are solving the problem of the superheroes not having iconic themes to themselves. Her theme is awesome. It totally fits. It feels epic. It feels like Captain America style. I'm the captain, but it also feels like epic space stuff, which
That's
is
cool.
like, that's hard to nail, and I think they did a really good job with that. I do think that, watching all the trailers, I was like, something seems off about these, but I feel like I kept arguing with you because you were like, this is just, nothing's landing, it's not good. And I'm
Brie
like,
Larson.
and yeah, exactly. But I kept saying, I was like, I feel like that's just the trailer, but
Yeah.
when we see it in context, it's gonna give her jokes and punchlines a little more room to breathe. I was wrong. I was very
See,
bad. Very wrong, because I feel like
I don't think that. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
I feel like the way that the dialogue in the movie, specifically her dialogue, it's just not great. And I wanted it to be great, and it deserves to be great for these MCU movies. She's awesome. She has such fun personality to herself and her emotions and the way that she like handles things, her mannerisms. But her lines weren't cool. Her
That's
lines weren't
unfortunate.
fun, and I feel like that's throughout the entire movie. And this movie, what I think does very well is it's very uniquely structured, and that's unique.
Because we're telling,
Isn't necessarily a good
is it because
thing.
we're telling like sort of her past and what's going on with space, and then she's on the planet?
Don't want to spoil things,
Yeah.
so I just the
I mean,
way
you get that from the
this
trailer,
feels
right?
kind of like the reverse of Wonder Woman, where the first act kind of sucks, and then the second and third are good. Whereas Wonder Woman 1 and 2 were great, and then 3 sucked. But I feel like that's because they use really unique structuring of the story. Once we get to the second act, though, it's like, oh, finally, like you're actually
Things
a
are
character
moving.
now.
Yeah,
Follow-up question: how quickly do we get to the blockbuster video?
very quickly.
Pretty quickly.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Good choice, Marvel. Good choice, Kevin Feige.
Yeah. The opening scenes are cool. I will say, best looking suit thus far in superhero history.
Really?
She looks awesome in it, and especially once it's red, it looks so vibrant. It looks so cool. It looks so believable.
The vibrancy was so high when she changed, when she gets the red suit.
It's really,
and it
really
looks
awesome.
so good.
Cool.
It's
So
finally,
good.
we're at this point where it's believable, where it looks like she can actually move in it, and she's actually moving in it, and it also looks cool, and it also seems comic accurate, but without being corny. Like, somehow it nailed all those things, and like,
Well, they've had a lot of practice at this point.
they've had a lot of practice, but I still don't think that they've succeeded this hard.
Interesting.
Yeah, because
I'm very excited.
Iron Man looks fucking great, but a lot of times it's like a lot of CG.
Yeah, I think Iron Man is like, it's such a cool looking suit that looks awesome, but the fact that he doesn't want to wear a physical suit means so many of the times it's like, ugh, the neck doesn't look right, his motion doesn't seem right, and like I feel like they lose a lot of points with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's so interesting because remember when we saw the first images of Captain Marvel and it was the like green suit with
Goofy
the,
looking.
yeah, very
the saggy
goofy looking,
bottom.
and like they fixed that.
Yeah.
Looks great.
Again, and we talked about that, right? When
Yeah.
you see it,
Yeah,
you cannot judge costumes
absolutely.
or anything based off of a random cell phone
Empire
picture
Sure.
covers.
of a fucking or Empire cover or any of that shit.
Yeah.
You got to see it lit. You got to see it, and they go in and they do touch a lot of this stuff up, right? You
Oh,
mentioned
yeah.
Iron Man, like go watch a scene with Iron Man. He's wearing a fucking like a shoulder pad and a glove, and that's
Yeah.
pretty much it. And then the rest of it looks pretty seamless.
But they Tim's right in the sense that like they did a really good job making those suits look cool. Because I thought even the green version looked rad on like everyone else.
The creepy
Yeah.
people. And I will say, like, to their credit, like, those suits look dope. And I wish they fleshed some things out a bit more. But a big part of the opening scenes is the whole team working together, the Kree people we've seen in the trailer. And like, I got a real fucking Halo vibe from it.
Really?
Like their suits, like
Yeah.
even from behind, they look really fucking cool. And they look like a bunch of Master Chiefs. I'm like, wow, this is the best Halo movie we're ever going to get.
Yeah.
But them coming in and working as a team and all that, I'm like, this is cool.
But
and
also
we
you
haven't seen this before in the MCU. I
get
feel like that's another thing this movie does well is there's a lot of things I'm like, wow, we've never had this style. We've never had this take. And I feel like that's when it succeeds because when it is just more it's Captain Marvel. Is she going to be quippy? Is she going to be like, who's she going to be like in the MCU? And it's kind of just, she's my least favorite parts of everyone. Like, I feel like she doesn't have any defining thing that's
unfortunate. I disagree with that. I actually liked her character a lot. I thought that like they did a good job making her feel like a new person that is kind of like defined. And like, if I had to guess what her reaction would be to stuff, I think guess right. And
yeah, I don't know. I feel like I want to say what I'm saying for more spoiler conversations, but I feel like the movie does a disservice to itself with the amnesia stuff. You know, her not knowing. So it's like, this isn't.
I'm never a big fan.
That's always
of that.
annoying. It used to be a trope a while ago, and it's
always been a trope.
Yeah.
It's always been a trope, and it's always been a trope.
Like,
ever since
know.
JR got amnesia, or like was in a coma in, I think the wrong thing now. Amnesia's always been a silly,
Days of Our
like,
Lives?
I was going to say Days of Our Lives. No, it wasn't. It was the other one.
Doesn't matter.
It's a wrong reference. It doesn't matter. That's always been like sort of a cheesy fucking daytime soap opera trope. And like every time you see it now, you're like the last movie we watched where someone got amnesia, it was Fast and Furious. And you're like, this is not done well here either. And if they can't do it well, I don't expect Marvel to do it well.
Yeah, it's interesting. But again, I love the dynamic between her and her best friend. It's very fucking cool. And I just wish we got more of that. And because of the amnesia stuff, we didn't.
There will be a Captain Marvel too, I'm guessing.
Tim, would you recommend it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a Marvel
I would
movie.
too.
And again, shout out to how unique it is. And again, that doesn't always work, but I love that I feel this more than a lot of the other ones. And I don't mean this as a criticism. This feels like the episode of Walking Dead after everyone thought Glenn died, but like he was on the dumpster and we didn't know. And then the next episode was, here's Morgan off in the woods learning fucking kendo or whatever.
Yeah.
But like that was a good episode. We hated it because we just wanted to get to the next thing. But like taking a step back and looking at it, it's like that's actually one of the best episodes the show ever had. And I feel like that's not necessarily the case with Captain Marvel, but like getting it in between Infinity War and Endgame is unfortunate for it, but I feel like it understands its place. And this definitely feels like a episode 7 out of 10 of a franchise,
Sure.
of a season.
But I think it's fair to say that a lot of the kind of individual movies can feel like that a little bit. You know, like I went back and watched a little bit of Ant-Man and the Wasp. I'm like, very entertaining movie, but totally just serving to get people to the next Marvel movie, right? You know, like it's good in its own right.
It's a fun movie,
but
though.
even if it never existed, I wouldn't really fucking care.
I would not call this movie fun. And I think
I totally would call this movie fun. It had several points that we'll talk about. In
the 90s stuff sucks.
Yeah, but the 90s, were all right.
Hey, man, hey.
What?
It's when I discovered cigarettes.
The 90s stuff was at odds with itself, where it was against the tone of what the movie is. The tone of the movie's not fun. The tone of the movie's not funny. The tone of the movie's not quippy. And every time that we get these weird 90s things, it feels like very out of place. And it like doesn't work for me because it's like I either wanted way more of it and for them to go into it or not have it because whenever they do have it, I'm like, you characters would not act this way and you're only doing it because you know the audience members are going to go, that song's from the 90s, you know? And like that's a disservice to it as a film. Like then it just feels like they're just trying to get reactions out of people.
Those weren't the funny moments for me. Like I think that the movie has really good funny moments that are all character based. Yeah. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun movie.
I can't wait to see this and just tear it apart on Tuesday, or tear it down rather. I should say on Tuesday. Break it down. Break it down is what I meant.
You might like it.
Oh man, I'm sure I'll like it. Again, I think that looking at the trailer, just basing it all on the trailer, I'm like I can understand what Tim's talking about. Where you see the jokes just not landing.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's got some cool part. I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing it.
I will say
I'm going in very optimistic.
And to be positive, because like all that stuff, I feel like this movie, to use a phrase that is not popular, subverts expectations a lot. And a lot of the comedy stuff, it's like this movie's not a comedy. And me going into it wanting her to be this or wanting her to be that, they didn't give me that. I wish they gave me something that was a bit more defined because I don't feel like it is. But I feel in other ways, they really surprised me. There's some moments here that
story-wise, they did. I think they did a good job with the story where they took it somewhere I didn't expect.
The end credit scene surprised me.
So
the
enjoyable.
There's points in the movie that I was like, holy shit, didn't expect him to do this. And that is a great storytelling decision. And this movie proves to me that the MCU is fucking on fire. Like, we have already known it, but I feel like with this, it's like they can just, right at this point, they can do no wrong. Like, they are building a story. These people fucking care about the world that they're building, and they know where they're trying to end up and where they're trying to go. And it's so clear. And I think that would have been really easy to fuck up. There's a couple choices they could have made in this movie that I expected them to, and they didn't, and I'm so happy for it.
Nick, do you want to go away now?
Are you guys going to go into spoiler stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit, not too much.
I'll see you guys later.
But get out of here. Go on.
Yeah. Cool movie, though.
Yeah.
You know?
I enjoyed it. It sounds like I enjoyed it more than you did, but it just...
I mean, at the end of the day, it's a Marvel movie,
yeah.
so it's like, for as negative as I'm sounding, it's like it's still good. Like, it's not. I would say it's mid tier on the list. We'll figure out where it goes.
I
next
also
week,
not that we're, to be clear, we're not trying to rank it, but like for me, my ranking, I haven't like sat down and actually looked
me
at my
neither.
list forever, but like it definitely feels like lower or higher mid tier. Somewhere around the...
What I said was, I think at its core, it's a Phase 1 Marvel movie with some fun Phase 3 elements.
Yeah.
It reminds me of Ant-Man and the Wasp. It's not, like, great, but it's not, like... I don't think it's as bad as some of the worst of Phase 1, you know?
Well, definitely not.
I
Yeah.
totally agree with that. Yeah, some of the worst of Phase 1 or Phase 2, like are real
I feel
bad.
like it just didn't the Phase 3 stuff. Like, I don't really see that, because to me, Phase 3, even for like, let's look at Doctor Strange, right? Which is a movie that's not funny. Like, it's not what I'm talking about.
It has some funny moments,
and they're funny because they are understanding of the
Yeah.
tone and use that to its advantage. But what I thought Doctor Strange did that was great, that made it a Phase 3 movie to me, not a Phase 1 origin story, is the whole Dormammu thing at the end. It's like they took things up a notch. They did something crazy and different and expanded the world. Whereas with this one,
I think the twist that we get in this movie brings it up to that level. Because it's one of the things we all walked in expecting to, and like now we are in the
this is
spoiler.
full spoilers right
full
here.
spoilers. So
I've
if
got
you
the
haven't seen
Spoilers
it,
Bureau graphic. Do you want me to bring it up?
yeah, go ahead and flick it on there. It won't be
doesn't
on
look
YouTube
great.
though.
Okay.
Huh?
It doesn't look great, but...
Can you take down the time too, so we can have a spoilers time
I
code?
already did a time code for spoilers.
Great. So there is a twist with the Skrulls where we all expected the Skrulls to be the bad guys, and surprise, like they're not.
Loved
they
it.
are. Yeah, that was great, and I
was
think
amazing. It was
really
that
cool.
was like no one expected. Not only were they like good guys, or not, they were refugees.
Yeah.
Like
they were the victims.
They
in
were
this
also
movie.
hilarious.
Yeah, dude.
I
Ben-
loved everything that they said. Every time they spoke, I was just like, "Oh, these are great."
The Skrulls were fucking great.
Yeah.
I thought they handled it so well because they were funny. They were great characters. I loved their dynamics with everybody. It all made sense. I believed it. That shit was all great. And I also love the ramifications this has. Where I hate the idea of
Secret Invasion.
the Secret Invasion stuff. It's like, dude, it reminds me of Dark Phoenix. It's
Yeah.
like, hey. Just because it was
was
popular
cool,
one
yeah.
didn't make it good. And Secret Invasion has good elements to it, but like I've
They
always
could
hated
still
the, like,
technically do it though.
They could- that's what I was telling Barry,
But I just
like, they
hate
could
this
have a
idea of the like anybody that you think you know, you might not know, and they're shapeshifters. I'm like, it leads more
and they
often than
but
not.
they pulled it off in this movie though.
But more often than not, it leads to lazy writing and it leads to lazy reveals. And there are exceptions to that rule, but I don't have full trust in them being able to do that, because the last thing I wanted was Agent Coulson's been a Skrull the whole time.
Yeah, that's
and they
true.
didn't do that shit. Thank fucking God. But the one negative thing I have to say about the Skrulls is they looked great, and this is a very nitpicky type thing to say, but I noticed it so many times. Him wearing the mask, when they talked, it sounded like they were talking through a mask. And I'm like, oh, fuck, that sucks. Like, the ADR should have been a little bit better there, because like it was the first time in an MCU movie that I was taken out from costuming.
Interesting.
it was like the Hellboy like trailer. It reminded me of
Yes.
the Hellboy trailer.
Yeah.
Like, he's
I
trying to
didn't have
talk.
an issue with that.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Like, if you
I thought
are
it
you
was
planning to
interesting
rewatch it?
Yeah.
Just
Paula hasn't seen it yet, so I do intend to rewatch it.
And I'm
And
seeing
also,
it again
I enjoyed it,
tomorrow.
so I'm down to watch it again. That's not a negative. And
yeah, I think I might watch it again as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm seeing it again tomorrow with my mom.
Oh.
She's in town, so
you should bring her to Cooking
no,
Great.
I'm not.
It's very. I thought the scroll thing was great. It happened a little. This goes back to what I was talking about structuring. This movie's so weirdly structured that it happens at a point that I don't think that type of reveals ever happened in a movie.
Yeah.
It's not near the end. It's not
literally
near the
like
beginning.
it's half.
halfway
It's kinda
down.
like,
Yeah,
and you're like,
and that's when you were saying like that first act. It really felt like this movie was structured very differently, where it wasn't the 3-act structure. It felt more of like a 2-act structure, where it was like, hey, here's her deceived, her post deception.
Yeah, and her deceived.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
I was having fun like that for that whole first half.
Yeah.
And then, but I do agree. Like when we got to that moment, I was like, oh shit! Like here's like the cool
I
part
had
of the
fun
movie.
with her and Jude Law, and I had fun
Yeah.
with Samuel Jackson in the first half.
Yeah, see, my problem is I was talking about the Halo-esque battle scene. Like, I loved that. I loved the tone that they had with the Kree stuff. That all
Right.
felt really cool. I feel like the moment she got to Earth, it kind of got a little too with Samuel L. Jackson and with
Well,
Agent Coulson and
that's
stuff.
where it got like the fun
weirdly-
vibey of like.
it got fun, but it never got fun enough, and that's my problem. Is like it took a turn and it felt fan servicey in a way that isn't good to me, in my opinion. There were some cool moments for sure, but the stakes felt so incredibly low.
Yeah.
And it goes back to what I'm saying about the dialogue. I didn't believe in the dialogue that they're setting up of like, oh, where's your communication place? And he like points over to Radio Shack. It's like, I get that that's a funny thing that we laugh at.
I miss Radio Shack every day.
But it's like that storytelling to me is not good. That is like you are making these characters dumb for the sake of a laugh. And Captain Marvel is this, she understands that the planet that they're on, Earth, that she doesn't know is Earth, she calls it some other fucking code name or whatever the
C-53
hell.
or something.
It's like, why are you interacting with this person that obviously
Doesn't know what you are, and
this
why you
way?
keep telling people you're part of this hero force or whatever
It's
it
like
was called.
that type of stuff to me is very lazy, and it's just like it's not good storytelling because it's like then once we get to the point where she like remembers who she is and all this stuff, I'm like, cool, welcome Carol Danvers. Now you're actually a compelling character. Otherwise, you're just this doofus.
Yeah,
You're a doofus in a movie
So-
that isn't trying to be funny doofusy.
Yeah, my problem with like the doofusy type of parts is that there were moments that they were trying to lean into like kind of Guardians of the Galaxy humor,
Yeah,
but they didn't.
but they
lean
weren't
in
hitting
hard
as hard, yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Especially with the soundtrack too. There were two moments with two specific songs.
Yeah.
I forget what the first one
well,
was.
you have the big hero moment towards the end of the movie.
Yeah, with,
and I just feel like that song did not fit that moment.
Yeah, it didn't.
Yeah,
And it was what was the song? It was it was No Doubt.
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
a girl.
Yeah.
Great.
Oh, is that
So
when
on
just
the
the
nose.
standing up one?
No, that was a different one. But I
Wait, real quick.
Mm-hmm.
I want to talk about my big issue with this movie. It like I feel like the story was so weak in that like what was the plan all along? They were
Mm-hmm.
trying to get this faster than light engine, right?
Yeah.
But they clearly have like some sort of space jumping
because
technology.
we see it at the end.
Yeah, so like why would that that didn't make any sense
So
to me
the
because they can
only-
jump through things.
The only thing that I thought of is that they knew they weren't looking for that. They knew they were looking for the Tesseract.
yeah.
Because
I thought
like
that was a cool
the
reveal,
Tesseract
yeah.
being the
Yeah.
space, so it allows you
Yeah.
to go. It's
Right,
like
right.
that's cool.
Yeah.
But I don't think they did a great job with that. I thought the inclusion of Ronin was weirdly forced.
What was very interesting for me was that Ronan in the Guardians of the Galaxy has a different. He's got paint on his face. He's got 2 black lines.
Mm-hmm.
So looking at him without the paint just seemed like I don't recognize this blue dude.
Hmm.
You know,
I mean,
still Lee Pace.
yeah.
But I just-
that
it
stuff
didn't
was
seem-
weird.
yeah.
Was weird to me. When's the last time we
I
saw
thought-
the Tesseract? By the way,
So the timeline, I was trying to figure this out right after we left the theater. It was like, so the last time canonically we saw the Tesseract was Howard Stark took it out
Pulling
of the
it
ocean,
yeah.
in Captain America 1. And that's the last. So it
So
doesn't
the
make
government
sense.
has it, but
Well,
it
doesn't
make
make sense because Howard Stark is one of the founders of S.H.I.E.L.D. And so technically at one point S.H.I.E.L.D. should have had the Tesseract.
Yeah, but I assume that Pegasus was part of Shield. That Pegasus.
They don't really say that though. They don't talk about if that was part of S.H.I.E.L.D. or not.
You're right, they don't.
So-
But I
don't know.
assume that you can petition to get like this thing so that she was
Yeah,
experimenting with
I mean,
it.
isn't it implied though that it is part of it because his Shield credentials got him into
Yeah.
Pegasus?
Oh, I was out. I left my backpack in the restaurant, and that's when I left the theater.
It gives
to go
me so
call.
much anxiety when anyone leaves.
I also had to
It's
go
like
pee,
you're missing
so
out.
it was a double.
yeah. So
left for
I
like 5
think
minutes.
that's kind of was.
I
implied.
assumed as much,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
That makes a little more sense then.
And it's weird because like there was a lot of moments that I really liked in terms of her battles. There's a shot of her kind of like corkscrewing through a giant battleship.
Yeah.
That was so sick.
The entire
that was the
powered up
accusers.
scene of her flying through and like fucking things up. I'm like, this is rad. We've never seen anything like this. They're doing a really cool job. I just storyline wise, I feel like it was a little rushed. And the second half of this movie, like I almost wish that this was 2 movies that were both more fleshed out, but I'm also happy they didn't do that.
Yeah, absolutely. I
but
would
it's
not
like-
want that.
But I feel that they tried giving us the Thor Ragnarok bridge moment, and it felt weird because we didn't see we didn't get Thor 1 and 2 first.
Right.
Thank God. But
Would you say that was the point where she was dropping out of the sky and the CGI was absolutely atrocious of just a down shot of her? And like her powering up for the first time, fully controlled.
yeah, it was that, but also it was the
The
scene.
bridge, the locked up thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I was super into that.
It was hype. It was hype as fuck.
I like the locked up scene, but I feel like she does more damage in that second shot. Like that's when she like really becomes like her super version.
Yeah.
And destroys the ship.
I feel like a perfect example of how I feel about this movie and what my issues are with it is the final scene with her and Jude Law, where he starts bringing back the dialogue of being like, oh, take those off. Like, you don't need that. You can do whatever. And then she just like fucking blasts him. To me, it's like, that's a cool moment. I love it. It feels very comic booky. It's like, all right, well, here's a throwback to a line that we had and whatever. And it's very nice and like put a little bow on it. But my problem is it's predictable as hell. And it just feels like, oh, okay. So yeah, you're that character, Carol, I guess. Like that is her character.
My
I feel like that's
argument-
not unique enough.
I thought that
there's
that was
no
cool.
one-liner. There's no this. There's no whatever. And it's like
It's just a blast. And like, I thought that was cool, where it was like, I don't know, but there was a one-liner. She was like, I don't have to prove anything to you.
Yeah.
And that, I think that was very much like, oh, she's like realized that, yeah, she doesn't need to do anything for anyone. She's just
I guess my thing
being
is
the hero she always felt
the
like
character
she should.
feels blah to me because I feel like at any moment it's flippant between I'm a little quirky, but not really quirky, just a little quirky. But then it's also like I'm a fucking badass and I have complete control over my power right now, immediately. Yes, I've been training my whole life or the last 6 years with this stuff, so that does make sense. But also, there's just no sense of like,
Well, she was training with the restraint.
yeah, so okay. I don't know. It's just like there's something about like her getting her full powers where even in this movie at the end, it's like she's flying around doing all the stuff that we haven't seen before. Like that's super OP. But like, I just don't believe it. I don't believe it.
It bothered me a little bit that like when she was floating in space that she didn't have her cool like face mask on because she had used it for everything. And I get that like she seemed like she was creating an aura around her, but I really like seeing that face mask. We should wrap this up.
Yeah.
Last thing I want to
yeah.
say though is end credit scene.
That's what I was about to go to.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Damn, that first end credit scene.
Cool. Super fucking cool.
My
one question though is, so they've got the
Pager.
beeper, the pager. How did they know where to find?
I'm sure
the
they'll
pager?
explain it.
Okay.
They found
Right.
his car.
right.
Maybe the other Maria. Is that her name?
Well, it's a whole
Maria,
system, right? So he had the pager to page Captain Marvel, but then he also had a different. He had a Razor flip phone to be able to hit up Tony Stark.
Sure.
In case he disappeared. That's how they found it. But
He landed together.
I love this post-credit scene because it, to me, subverted expectations. I had come up with the headcanon theory that they're gonna dust Captain Marvel in the post-credit scene, which I would have loved just because like Endgame should be, in my opinion,
the
about
classics.
the OGs
Yeah.
and like the end of their story. I thought that was gonna happen, or I thought that they were in the post-credit scene were going to have the pager go off and her start responding to it. And then you hear her go, like, sounds like she disappears, but she doesn't actually disappear. Something happens to her and she gets incapacitated or whatever. And that could be cool. She shows up in Endgame. It's epic and blah, blah, blah. How they did this, I'm like, I fucking fully believe in what you guys are doing. Like, I love that it doesn't seem like she's going to be the savior that just kind of comes and fucking punches Thanos and that's the end of it. Like, she's going to be working with the Avengers and it seems like it's going to be pretty early on in the movie. And that's fucking cool as hell.
One of my predictions, because there's a weird timeline thing here in the trailers, very important detail. Captain America, no beard. In this, Captain America has a beard. So, one of my predictions is that she shows up and she's like, let's do it. Like, I'm fucking OG powerful. And they still can't figure out, like, what to do. And, like, 2 years pass, and it's not until Ant-Man shows up that's like, oh, like, we can fix it.
Definitely.
That's my prediction.
I'm so stoked for this.
Yeah, I definitely. There's going to be a time jump.
Until Ant-Man shows up, like they can't really do anything.
Black Widow's going to end up in Endgame with red hair.
Yeah.
And she was blonde in the post-credit scene.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
All right. Thank you so much for watching with us. To keep up to date with all of our media adventures that we're having, you can follow us on Twitter. I'm at Kind of Funny Kevin.
Yeah, you are.
He is at Tim Gettys.
Yes, I am.
Mm-hmm. And I think there's something that you say. I haven't really figured out how to.
We'll see you at the movies.
That's good enough. Bitches. Jesus.